Brought to you by Dick Dyer, Mercedes-Benz, the first Mercedes-Benz in South Carolina.
Hey, we're the Call Guys. I'm David.
And I'm George.
We are here today with Director of Bands for the University of South Carolina and Associate Professor Cormac Cannon. Sorry. Let me go back and let's start all over that. Hey, we're the Call Guys. I'm David.
I'm George.
And we are here today with Dr. Cormac Cannon. He is the Director of Bands for the University of South Carolina. Cormac, welcome to our show today.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, you're very welcome. So George and I both have heard you speak both out at the Optimist Club, where we're members of out at St. Andrews Ermo, and then you came down to the Columbia Rotary and did a great presentation down there. So, after hearing the story of what you oversee at the University of South Carolina, we just decided we needed to have you on. So, before we get started, just, introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little bit about your story of, that kind of led you to the position you're at the university as Director of Bands.
Yeah, well, again, it's great to be here. Thank you so much. I'm the Director of Bands at the University of South Carolina. I am in my 9th year on the faculty here at USC. Previous to that, I was on the faculty at Michigan State University for 6 years. So we moved here 9 years ago when my boys were pretty young, and now they've basically grown up here in Lexington and Columbia, which is, of course, a great place to be. At USC, I oversee all the bands. So for my first 4 years here, starting in 2015, I was the director of the Carolina Band, the marching band, which is the reason I moved here. But as some things kind of changed in the School of Music and a new position came open, I applied for a new job at my same school, which was a bit of a unique situation to be in. But I was happy to move over and become the director of bands. So now I oversee all the bands. I conduct the Wind Ensemble, which is our top concert band that gives concerts in the Koger Center and around the state. And I oversee our band faculty, which includes Dr. Jay Jacobs and Dr. Quintus Wrighton, who direct all the athletic bands. So the Carolina Band that you see at football games, the basketball bands, the volleyball band, other bands that you may see at different events around the campus or around the community, as well as teach our graduate students who are studying conducting to be college band directors like we are, and really work to try to engage with the university, with the School of Music, with the community as much as possible. So it's a really great position to have. It's incredibly rewarding. We work with over 500 incredible USC students every year in all of our bands. And it's a great place to be.
Awesome. And when these students are getting interested in joining a band at South Carolina, are you talking to them while they're in high school, or when does that communication start with the people who have interest in coming to South Carolina and joining one of these ensembles?
That's a really great question. Yes, we are always engaging with our high school and middle school colleagues around the state and around the region and the country, but really, really focused right here in South Carolina. We do a lot of outreach, going out to high schools and middle schools and working with their students, helping their bands improve, get ready for their performances. Right now is a really busy time for that kind of engagement because all the bands are getting ready for their what is called concert performance assessment. It's a end of the year state program where they go and perform and get feedback from judges. So we spend a lot of time helping them with that. But when we're out there, of course, we're talking to the students about the opportunities that we have, especially for students who are interested in studying music as a career or as a major, know a lot about, kind of that path and what they need to do to be part of the bands. But what people may not know is an overwhelming majority of the students who play in our bands are not studying music as a major. They are studying every academic discipline available at the university, and so for those students, we really work to help them learn about how they can manage their time and be in band, how rewarding it can be, how students who are in band actually have a higher academic average than students who are not in band typically, And so we do a lot of work with younger students, kind of helping them learn about what we have to offer.
It's so you bring up something that, when I've heard you speak about your program, that just stands out in my mind is more students participate in your program, your bands that are not music majors, or students in the music college that are not. So talk a little bit more specifically around who those students are, where they come from, the university, because what I think it helps drive home, as someone who's a former educator myself, is that the including the arts in education really enhances the overall experience of the students who are in school.
Yeah, well, those students are the reason that working with these musical ensembles is so dynamic and exciting, both for us, the faculty members who have the privilege of working with them, and for the fans, community, audience members who get to engage with them at performances. We have students representing over 70 academic majors at the university. Every academic unit, every college on campus is represented in the bands. And so what you get is this incredibly diverse, skilled and dynamic cross-section of the university. And students who bring so much to the band. So certainly they bring their skills as a trumpet player or a baton twirler or a dancer, or certainly they bring that skill. And that's something that's very similar about all the students, is that they have this musical experience, they have this musical talent and work ethic to share. So that's something that they have in common. But then what makes it exciting is all the things that are different about them. They come from different places. We have students in the band from 23 US states, I believe. And so we have students who are studying all these different things. And so they learn from each other. And they really learn to be part of a community where everybody brings their different experiences, their different backgrounds, and their different interests, which is really a model for what they'll do out in the real world. And for us, I always joke with students they tell me about their major, and I'll say, I have no idea what you just said, because we have students who are studying these incredibly important and exciting and diverse majors that are so different from what I did and our other band directors. And they teach us as much as we teach them. And so I think that really represents something great about our university, in that these students who have so many diverse skills can then come together and share something that is so unified, and present it to an audience, no matter the situation. The other great thing about our university is, if you think about it, and this is something that my dean, Taylor Harding, reminds us of all the time, is that anytime there is something significant happening on our campus, there is music. And it's really gratifying for the students to understand what an important part music plays in our campus life. If you think about the opening of buildings, or you think about the State of the University address, or if you think about commencement, new student convocation, obviously every athletic event, all of these things have another thing in common, and that is music. And that is something that these students, bring to the campus, which is exciting for the people, again, who witness it, but is also very gratifying for the students who recognize the important role they play in our campus community.
Episode of The Cool Guys is sponsored by Bell Carrington, Price & Gregg. Bell Carrington is our choice for the best real estate attorneys in town. They are highly communicative and make sure that the closing process is as smooth as possible. With offices in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama, they can handle any of your real estate finance, eminent domain, financial services litigation, and litigation needs. Call their Columbia SC office today at 803-509-5078.